For my garbage person of the week, we have roughly half of the cast of Fox's Outnumbered. Take a look at this.
America's public school test scores are falling at a staggering rate. But New York City Mayor Eric Adams is focusing on breathing. Adams is rolling out a new plan for the city's public schools, mandatory 2 to 5 minutes of mindful breathing per day.
It's a valuable, low-cost tool that is proven to improve mental health and well-being.
Isn't yoga tied and rooted in Hinduism? If we can have that, maybe we need to have prayer, Bible study, and rosary mindfulness. Just saying.
Listen, dollar store, Pee Wee Herman. The fact that they're gonna have the kids breathe to calm down it's not even just limited to the fact, my approval for it, to the fact that there's scientific evidence that it does show, like, it helps them to process emotions, deal with trauma and stress, particularly in times where many of them are worried about shootings happening in their schools. It does not mean that you suddenly get to do whatever religious thing you want. You don't just get to add like a dash of xenophobia to make all of your religious radical dreams come true. He's a chucklehead, the first woman is, but I do want to give credit to the couple of people, including Kennedy, on the panel that seem to get that this is a super benign thing that you don't have to oppose, but they're not necessarily going to win out in the end. Take a look at this.
Studies have shown that not just children, but adults that do mindfulness are better able to focus. I do think this is something to have these kids take a moment and to focus, because it helps with math and it helps with reading.
I actually do believe in this. I actually do want our kids to take 2 to 5 minutes to mindfully breathe every day, but I don't want any rigmarole around it, and I don't want my tax dollars to pay for that over literacy and functionality in the way that we are globally declining. So to me, 2 to 5 minutes a day, yes, it has great benefits, but it has to be a way to do it efficiently instead of blowing everything else away.
I'm sorry, I just can't get on board. I somehow made it through many academic institutions without learning about breathing. He also thinks this is going to stop violence. If you think the violence in our schools is going to be stopped from breathing, good luck, Mayor Adams. I'm more on board with your comments about God going out of schools and gun violence surging up. It may help some, but I don't think it should be mandatory. And I'd rather have school security guards.
I'd rather have school choice. I'd rather have charter schools, but until we have that, this is
I'd rather have school prayer, which did the same thing, but we'll leave it there.
What is this game that we're playing where like literally everything has to be one or the? I would rather have a gravity. I would rather have a biome that doesn't collapse spontaneously. I would rather. You can do more than one thing. How much do you think it's gonna cost to have the kids breathe? Do you think they're gonna have to cut out gym and lunch to pay for the breathing? That is a group of full-grown adults being paid tons of money to pretend to believe utterly insane things. What do you think, Brett?
It's like Sesame Street for grown-ups, that show, dude. It's just true. Like, hey, stupid mama, want to learn the opposite of like something that helps you in life? That guy in the center is the same guy who tried to do that, like, who's on first? Who is, with Laura Ingraham? You talking about the show, you are a bad person, and it's like it was horrible, and it feels like every time they go back to him, he has more of like an old timey affect to him, and he's got like, hello my baby, hello my darling, and he is exactly what happens on shows on networks, and I want you to watch every network with the same eye. At what point are you certain that this person is just saying what they think the audience wants? They don't want to challenge them, they don't want to have an actual conversation. When are they just kowtowing to the easiest thing to say so they'll be invited back? And that's 100%. It. And the idea that like we're wild. Kayleigh, I hate to break it to you, but in the research is the fact that it will help with them focus on all those other things you want them to focus on. And it needs to happen close to when they have to do the learning, or else they'll be so scatterbrained. And none of them have been in a classroom ever if they don't think that kids come back from recess freaking wired.
Totally.
And this will help.
It'll help. Kennedy acknowledges it, by the way, although she wants the other stuff too. Yeah, I will say I don't know the guy in the middle, but he has like the strong vibes of like a guy who ran a soda fountain in the 1950s until people finally looked in the freezer. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, with that said, those are our garbage people, but 51,000 of you voted, and here are your top 5 community garbage people of the week. Coming in at number 5 with 3% of the vote, you have Kevin McCarthy for backing down on the weakest Trump critique. It was pretty embarrassing. Coming in number 4 with 11% of the vote, you have Marjorie Greene for wanting to expunge Trump's impeachments. I thought that would do better. At number 3 with 13% of the vote, you have Trump for admitting on audio tape he had classified documents. Well, that did not do that well. Number 2 with 17% of the vote, you have Roseanne Barr for denying the Holocaust happened. That was terrible, but with 56% of the vote, your garbage person of the week, Greg Abbott, for a law banning water breaks for outdoor workers on the eve of record-breaking heat across Texas and much of the southern United States that has already killed multiple people. Absolutely devastating, a true piece of garbage. Thank you to all of you who voted.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.